If you haven't, if you have not awakened to the sound of a creek burbling beside you, where do you get the gall to vote against cleaning up our lakes and rivers? If you haven't squeezed the throttle and heard the noise and felt its raw power, you'll never understand why ATVs are just the most fucking fun. If you never saw the earliest morning sun kiss a wild mountain basin, you won't ever get a clue as to why wilderness might just be important. If you haven't had one of your platoon buddies die right there beside you, you'll never understand the great camaraderie of modern warfare. If you never robbed a frightened white man at gunpoint when in need of a fix, you don't understand what shaking with drug-enhanced psycho excitement is all about. If you don't know the rapture with which our Savior fills us, your eyes are simply closed and your heart is truly dark and empty. If you have never gotten all shook up over the smell of meth a-brewing, you can't criticize the beautiful buzz that rots our teeth and makes our hair fall out. If you haven't ever lost more than you could afford but just kept on playing anyways, you will never know how good it feels to win back even just a little bit. If you never stated proudly you were eager for the chance to clear your name, you cannot know why you then must have no comment regarding the allegations. If you never became quite still and stopped all your wandering thoughts, you can derisively dismiss that phony bullshit about the sound of one hand clapping. If you haven't nearly died and then realized you are looking at a peaceful sunset, it's hard to know just how miraculous is each and every second of our lives. If you should even notice yourself dwelling on some phony sport or another, the door to your cure has begun to swing open in front of you at last. If you haven't quite grasped the lure that drives men to unmuffle their vehicles, you really need to get right up here behind the wheel in this big bad baby. If you haven't ever sweat too much and breathed too hard, you will not truly appreciate the gentle sun of a desert winter. If you only ever eat vegetables, fruit, and all that other organic shit, you can't understand the addictive joy of salt, sugar, and hydrogenated oils. If you just read the Bible and watch what's news on TV, you'll miss the wisdom of Muhammad and his buddy Isaac Newton. If you never spent too many lonely nights in the dark all alone, you cannot fully appreciate the peace of slumbering together. If you're always in an angry hurry because it's still too late, once again, it really won't be too easy to just sit there and listen to the stupid birds. If you've only weighed the arguments and critiqued others' decisions, it'll be hard for you to understand undertaking any real action. If you never questioned your endless, noisy, stinking lawn mowing, you probably never walked barefoot in some quiet forest meadow. If you really have thought through what you're saying now, you won't need to be told to just shut the fuck up once again. You haven't hiked hard up an alpine ridge on a clear September morning. You don't deserve the gas it takes to drive your damn SUV over the pass ever again. If you haven't even saved a penny and lived large just off your credit cards, don't bother to complain to me about those evil tax and spenders. If you can't even do the 4 operations of basic arithmetic in your head, don't you dare and try to question a science's so-called fuzzy math. If you haven't ever swam in a warm ocean during a real rain, you likely worry way too much about getting a little wet. If you can't conceive of a society not based upon greedy profit motives, sustainability surely sounds like another cockamamie liberal fairy tale to you. If you never were in awe of the interwoven cycles of the web of this earth, you'll find it easier to believe that we alone are possessed of a soul. If you still believe a God who awaits you created all this and left behind his word, you need never even look into the void yet for even the briefest single moment. If you hadn't seen those kids grow up and loved them so much through thick and thin, you cannot understand their exceptional nature or the uniqueness of their precious gifts. If you always needed to stop in order to smell the roses, you were lucky because you never noticed you really were not going anywhere at all.